Oh, hi. Didn't see you there. Philip Miller with Titan Rewind. Thanks for watching, as always. On today's show, we'll be talking about a little bit Major League Soccer action. We'll also be doing some NCAA football, NFL, and of course, some Mount Vernon Plankinton Titans show. Also on this week's show, we will be introducing a new segment called Weather with Charlie. Take it away, Charlie!
Hi, Charlie Mahaffey here, reporting from Mount Vernon, South Dakota. We have a slight breeze out of the south that's causing this drift of snow from towns like Ethan and Parkston. For this week, the high is 27 with a low of -9, but feeling like -15. We're hoping the weather gets better here soon, and with schools cancellations in the last week, we're really hoping we can stay on schedule with sports also. I don't think I have much more time, so here's my joke for the week. What did Santa say to Mrs. Claus about the winter storm? It's raining, dear.
Time.
No!
Alright, let's go.
Fuck
Alright.
the ball!
Alright,
One second.
welcome to Titan Rewind, or thanks for the weather, welcome to...
No, you guys just start and I'll be like, man, it was cold out there. Alright?
Hey, thanks for the weather, Charlie. Real nice job there. Appreciated the segment.
Oh, man,
now
it's
we're
cold out there.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I filmed it. Now we're on to sports. Cody Rankin.
Alright, we're here with NCAA football right after we recap the MLS division.
The championship
game.
I'll just tell you a little bit about it. Alvaro Sabario scored a regulation goal for Salt Lake, and Aurelian Colleen equalized, tying it. It went into extra time. Neither team could score into extra time. But then Sporting Kansas City won in the 10th round of penalty kicks as Aurelian Colleen converted a penalty kick. Big game for Aurelian. He was named the MVP of the game. Great win for Kansas City. Now we'll move on to some college football.
College football. The first game I'm going to talk about is the Duke Blue Devils taking on Florida State Seminoles. We're currently in the fourth quarter, start of the fourth quarter, and my Duke Blue Devils are losing 38-0 to the Florida State Seminoles.
Florida State's a real good team.
Going on, at the end of the fourth quarter, Stanford Cardinals are beating Arizona State Sun Devils 38-14.
Yeah, big win for the Stanford Cardinal there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Stanford will be going to the Rose Bowl, by the way, when
Yep.
they get that victory.
Pac-12 champion always goes to the Rose Bowl, as does the Big Ten champion, except this year maybe Ohio State goes to the national championship.
Yep.
Score of that game right now?
Ohio State Buckeyes are beating Michigan State Spartans 24-17. With
Excuse me, 24-20.
Oh, 24-20.
Michigan State just made a field goal right there. Nice job, Michael Geiger, with the 44-yard field goal.
Yep, 2.5 minutes left in the third for that game.
And those 24 points Ohio State scored unanswered when they were back 17.
Yep, they were down 17-0.
Big game that surprises me because I'm a Utah State Aggies fan. They're losing to the Fresno State Bulldogs 10-0 right now.
Yeah, Fresno State was undefeated there with their quarterback Carr. Brother of former NFL quarterback David Carr, who played for the Texans, had a decent career there. Fresno State's ranked number 23rd in the nation. They were undefeated until their upset loss last week to San Jose State. It'll be interesting to see if the Bulldogs can get back on track and finish this one out.
Texans just fired their coach, too, Phil.
Yes, Gary Kubiak did get fired. We'll get to that later in the show in the NFL portion.
Yep. Now the next game I got is the Oklahoma Sooners taking on Oklahoma State Cowboys. That game is 33-24 final.
Yeah, that was an interesting game. Oklahoma was actually losing 24-20 in the last minute. They scored a touchdown to take the lead. And then on the last play of the game, Oklahoma State tried to pitch it around, see if they could get a little Cal Stanford magic going. And then they fumbled, and Oklahoma returned it for a touchdown to get the win. It actually ruined Oklahoma State's hopes of going to a BCS championship game and winning the Big 12.
Big game for Bob Stoops. Good win for Bob
Yeah,
Stoops.
it's a good win for Bob Stoops. And now they have a chance to get an at-large bid into a BCS Bowl. That'd be huge for Oklahoma if they could do that.
Rated 16, UCF Knights taking on Southern Methodist Mustangs. The Knights pull away 17-13 in the final.
That game was at Southern Methodist. It was a real cold atmosphere there. UCF finished out their awesome season, and they are going to a bowl game, or a BCS bowl game, excuse me. They finished 11-1 there. Their one loss, a 3-point loss to South Carolina.
Yep, Baylor Bears taking on the Texas Longhorns. They get the W, 30-10 over the Longhorns.
Oh, Baylor there, that ended up with Oklahoma State's loss. That was basically the Big 12 championship game. Whoever won it was going to get their BCS berth. And Baylor beat Texas, and it'll be interesting to see if Mac Brown can keep his job there in Austin.
One of the bigger games tonight, the Auburn Tigers taking on the Michigan Tigers. Auburn gets the W 59-42.
Yeah, this was a real close game. Into the fourth quarter, it was 45-42. Auburn got 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, and their running attack was just huge. 304 yards from Trey Mason there.
Louisville Cardinals beat Cincinnati Bearcats 31-24 in overtime.
Louisville didn't have the season they expected. They lost to UCF. They had hoped to go undefeated. That didn't happen. We'll see if they can get into a good bowl game and do well.
Good job for Teddy Bridgewater. Good year.
Yep.
Northern Illinois Huskies, 12-1, rated number 14, lost to Bowling Green Falcons tonight, 47-27.
Big win for the Falcons against quarterback Jordan Lynch.
That's really hurtful for the Huskies there. If they had won that game, they would have been in a BCS bowl, and that kind of opens the door for Oklahoma with their 2-loss record to get into a BCS bowl game.
Oklahoma's coach is Bob Stoops, so that's a good season for them.
Yes, Bobby, it is.
All
So
right.
now we can talk a little bit about this. Here's the big interesting questions. There's 2 that we're going to talk about. First, we're going to talk about who should be in the national championship. And obviously, Florida's going to be in it. But the big debate is, if Ohio State wins, should it be Auburn or Ohio State participating in the national championship game in Pasadena? Bobby?
Correction there. It's Florida State, not Florida, because Florida.
I apologize.
Florida did not have a
Florida's
season.
having a much worse year.
But anyway, I feel like it should be the Ohio State Buckeyes just because I feel like even though Auburn did get a big win over Alabama last week, an undefeated season should be over-precedented by the one big win on the year. So I feel like Coach Urban Meyer, if he wins the night, goes to 25-0, and that's a good start to the season, your first year as a coach, and I think that over-precedents and gets them in the national championship.
Charlie, your thoughts?
Florida State definitely deserves to be there. I think the way they've been playing lately, I think they'll probably win it. In my opinion, I think Florida State will pull away and win it.
Who will they play?
I'm gonna go with Ohio State just because they may not make it, but I think they deserve to make it because last year they weren't bowl eligible.
Yes, because of the sanctions that Jim Tressel brought upon them with huge scandals with Terrell Pryor.
But they had an amazing season last year, and not many people know about it because they didn't play in a bowl game, and I think they carried that into this year, and they've had an amazing season also.
Yeah, you would have to say it would be a shame for a team to go undefeated 2 years in a row. And this is, of course, all pending on if Ohio State can beat Michigan State. That game's going on right now. As we updated you earlier, it was 24-20 with Ohio State winning. And so, if Ohio State wins, they deserve to be in the BCS National Championship game. Auburn controlled their own destiny. If they would have gone undefeated, no question. They had the tougher schedule. They should be in the BCS National Championship game. However, they lost to LSU. It was there for them to take. I mean, this was when they weren't considered one of the best teams in the nation. I think undefeated, especially in a major conference like the Big Ten, takes precedence over a one-loss SEC team.
But Gus Malzahn did do a great job there with quarterback Nick Marshall and running back Trey Mason.
I mean, there's similarities between Nick Marshall and Cam Newton. Not many. I mean, they both came from a junior college, and they're both dual-threat quarterbacks. But other than that, people are comparing them. Nick Marshall's more of an elusive runner. Cam Newton was powerful, but like you said, Nick Marshall's good quarterback.
Even though he doesn't play for the Panthers. But yes, good comparisons.
All right, we on to Titan Sports?
Yeah, let's talk a little Titan Sports here.
First, thank you for talking about the football. Phil, Charlie, Tool. All right, on to Titan Sports.
We'll have Tool take it away. He'll talk to us a little bit about the Jamboree today.
Bobby, how do you think your performance today in the Jamboree went?
Sorry for his rudeness. Bobby couldn't participate today. He was at Orland Terp. Congratulations, though. Congratulations to Tool, Bobby, excuse me, sorry. He finished superior in both of his events. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Oratory and what was the other category?
Serious Pros!
Serious Pros and Oratory.
Could you tell us what your pieces were?
Tuesdays with Maury was a Serious Pro that's about an old professor in college who ends up getting Lou Gehrig's disease and is visited by his old, wise young friend his old student.
See?
And your Oratory?
How pain struggle can get you to excellence and success in your life if you just are willing to accept the pain and struggle.
Do you know those from memory, too?
Could you maybe give us the your introduction for your Tuesdays with Maury?
Go ahead, do it.
No.
No?
You're okay?
Alright, he's not feeling it right now.
All right.
Now we're going to talk a little bit about the Jamboree. Bobby?
Not to mention that Becca Glanzer also did well on Friday. Cody
I
should know
apologize.
that. You
Are
are
you in trouble?
in love with her. But anyway, she did a
Did
good...
you just say the L word?
Yes, she had a good humorous piece on Friday, and she ended up getting a medal and Superior, so good for Becca, her senior year.
Yep.
Nice job, Becca. Cody really is filming Titan Rewind. He's not with, like, any other girl or something.
Not
So-
tonight, anyways.
Getting that freak on.
That's still.
All right. So, Bobby, you had some questions for us about our Jamboree today.
Yes, the Mount Vernon Plankinton Titan varsity boys and girls basketball teams were at the Corn Palace today for some preseason exhibition Jamboree basketball. In the first game, you guys played the James Valley Christian Vikings, who are coming in and looking to have a good season. How did that game go for you, Cody?
Well, Nathan Wadle, one of their stars,
Good post player, yes.
did not play today
Yes,
due
he
to
had
mono.
It's a real unfortunate deal.
Anyways, for me today, I thought that the Titans and all, we played pretty well, boys and girls. But that first game, we struggled a little bit. I would say we didn't keep score, but between our two games, we probably were successful and victorious in both games. We did a lot of good things today, and we also grew as a team a little bit.
Yeah, we struggled a little bit in our first game with our offense. We forced a little much. We fixed those problems in the second game. We were patient. We got better shots. We got a lot of good open layups for Nick Lawson, who seemed to never miss.
Yep.
And it was good to see Nick back on the court after his near-fatal shooting incident.
Yeah, Nick got shot over the summer. But anyway, Phil, it was first game was a struggle. You guys were talking about some turnovers later. Are we going to be seeing that carry on to the season, or the Titan and Coach Eric Denning going to try to clean that up a little bit before next Saturday?
Well, Coach Denning, he's the best, one of the best in the area. He's a real good coach. He adjusts to his team, and this year we might not have the most size, but we have quickness, and he's adjusted to that, and he's put us into a system where we can succeed. And we had a little disruptions with practice with the snowstorms this week. I mean, that's no excuse, but I think with this week we'll have another week to work on it. I think we'll become less turnover prone, and by the first game we should be ready.
Cody and Phil, how do you guys both seeing this next week coming up? The first game of the season is, of course, next Saturday, December 14th, at Plankinton Gym against Kimball White Lake Wildcats. How do you guys see the preparation for this week going, and the preparation for Saturday's season opening and big game against a very good rival opponent?
Well, with missing 2 practices last week, we're going to have to really work hard to make up those practices this week.
Yes.
I think we really brought it this first week of practice. I mean, there was I think three days that we had 2-a-day practices.
And it would have been 4, but we had
a
big
4.
snowstorm.
A lot of early mornings, a lot of sore legs, but we just, the whole team in general, freshmen through seniors, everyone brought it this week, and everybody just wanted to be there. And you could tell that it was real positive energy.
Yeah.
Going back to today, we played a pretty good Mitchell High School team.
Yeah, under a new coach there, the old Spearfish coach, you can tell they're gonna be a pretty good team this year.
Yep. But back to that, I think that we played really, really good in today's Jamboree against them.
Yes, very good. They're a good defensive team. Their coach has them shaped up. They're very disciplined.
But we just didn't seem to be struggling at all when it
Yes.
came to offensive or defensive stopping.
We
them.
flowed well, and a lot of that has to deal with our point guard, Tate Diner, the young sophomore who played well, ran the offense, and scored a lot. He's you have to say he might be one of the better sophomores in the state.
Yeah, and we go back to the Titans this year. Starting senior, one of the captains on the team, Derek Denning, was on the cover of the Hanson Anderson edition for this year. First Mount Vernon kid, Plankinton kid to do that since Mike Steffen back in 2005. What do you guys see for Derek his senior year? And he's kind of going to be leading your team in scoring and emotionally this year. What do you guys see out of him?
Well, I see Derek is my cousin, fans. He's one of my closer friends as well, and he's been playing basketball since he's been in third
Basketball
grade.
is his big thing, and he's very good at it.
His dad has been his coach throughout his whole life, and I know it means a lot to Eric and Derek. So I feel as he's going to lead the team very well this year, and we're going to have just a very successful year altogether.
He's a very good player. He's very good going to the hoop. One of the best shooters in the state. That's my opinion. Almost fact. Anything else to say?
And what people don't know about Derek Denning this year is that he's put in a lot of training in the offseason in the weight room. So
He's a hard
starting
worker.
to establish his post offense too, which some people just thought he roamed the 3-point line, but he's also getting that to be more versatile on the offensive side of the
He's
basketball.
got J's for days, people. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, J's for days.
Anyway, we'll move on to a little bit of NFL action here. I think one of the big games on the weekend here is Seattle versus San Francisco, and we have Charlie
Going to the
Mahaffey.
Bay.
He's an expert on the Seattle Seahawks. Big fan. He's been to Seattle. He's met some players. Had a chance to talk to them this week. Actually, he hasn't had a chance to talk with them. He hasn't met any
Just
players.
Marshawn.
I
They're
apologize.
bros. They're bros.
But anyways, Seattle travels to the Bay this week to play San Francisco, and their last meeting was in Seattle, and they beat them 27-3. A lot of people will raise questions if Seattle can win this game, but then again, Seattle did pull off a very impressive win last week against New Orleans.
Could it be for the fact that the last 4 times these teams have met that the 49ers have won?
That's actually not true. I apologize.
For that falsification of facts.
Our sources are coming in through our earpieces. We're just not reading things right today. I'm sorry.
It's a little static with the winter storm. We're not hearing very well.
But
The Seattle is 11-1 on the year. Their one loss coming to Indianapolis in Week 5, I believe.
How do they plan on stopping Colin Kaepernick in that versatile pass game with Vernon Davis?
well, Brendan Browner is out this week, so they're gonna have replacements stepping up. But I think with leaders like Richard Sherman and Ed Thurmond, I think they'll be able to step up and contain Kaepernick, especially with a big line across the board. But if Russell Wilson and Marshawn Lynch can both put up numbers like they have been putting up, I don't think the defense really has much to worry about.
What do you say to those naysayers that say the Legion of Boom will not be bringing it the entire season?
I apologize for the technical difficulties there. We had a little camera malfunction.
Yeah, it died.
All right, we're back talking about NFL football. Let me just give you the matchups before we go on for this week. All right, we got
Gary Kubiak got fired.
Yes, he did.
the Colts playing the Bengals.
That's a big game. Both teams are 8-4.
We got the Packers playing the Falcons at home. We got the Browns and the Pats, the Raiders and the Jets, the Lions and the Eagles. The Dolphins will be taking on the Steelers. Bills will be taking on the Buccaneers. Chiefs play the Redskins this week.
See if the Chiefs can get back on track after 3 straight losses.
And
So
they play San Diego at the end of the season again, don't they?
Yep. Vikings play the Ravens in Baltimore.
That should be a good game.
Tennessee Titans play the Denver Broncos. St. Louis Rams play Arizona Cardinals. The Giants play the Chargers. Seahawks play the 49ers.
Yeah, and that's
And the Cowboys are taking on the Bears in Chicago.
Could be a good game,
And the
too.
Carolina Panthers are taking on the New Orleans Saints.
That could be a really good game.
Let's
Carolina's
talk about
defense
that
has
game.
been playing really well.
yeah, and Cam Newton. Some people are calling for Cam for MVP, which is interesting with how they started the year 1-3. People questioning Cam Newton as an elite NFL quarterback. He's really said naysay to the naysayers, and
Yep.
the defense has really stepped up for them.
defense.
Starting 1-3, I think they've won 8 games in a row. They're
Yeah, it's incredible, really. Actually, we all had the chance to travel to Minnesota to see the second game in that win streak, and that was when Cam Newton really came on again as a star quarterback.
Yep, it was really really good to have him as my fantasy quarterback that week. All right, another big game coming up: the Lions and the Eagles.
Yeah, the Eagles are really coming on strong here. They didn't start the season as they may have wanted to. Nick Foles is playing really well there in Chip Kelly's system. It's interesting to see Chip Kelly's system work in the NFL.
All right, big game this week. Minnesota Vikings playing the Baltimore Ravens.
Don't see how that's a big game, but okay.
The Ravens will win that game. Sorry, Chad Greenway.
I would have put money on that game. Vikings really came alive offensively last game. Matt Castle got the start this week.
Yeah.
You finally got some confidence in your quarterback. Playing a real good quarterback spot. It's going to be nice to have some of the defensive returners who were out last week with an injury step up and play against the Baltimore Ravens offense. It should be a good game. Hoping to watch it.
Yeah, let's see if the Vikings can go to an overtime for a 3rd straight week.
Suck it, Bobby.
Yeah, but in those 2 overtime games, they've been 1-1-0, 1 win, 1 tie.
Yeah.
0 losses.
0 losses, folks.
I think, again, that might fly under the radar is that Giants and Chargers game, because Andre Brown has really established the running game for the Giants, and I think that's giving Eli Manning a little bit better opportunity to let the ball fly through
Yeah,
there.
if the Giants can win the rest of their games this season, they have a chance at the playoffs. Even after their 0-6 start, it'll be real interesting.
Yep, 2 5-7 teams, Giants and Chargers. They play at 3:25 on Fox, so should be a good game. Tune in for that.
And
Alright,
that's
let's go down the line.
Cody Rankin, tune in next week.
Philip Miller. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to watch the winter sports preview. I got an interview with head girls basketball coach Bill Marquardt and head boys basketball coach Eric Denning.
I'm Charlie Mahaffey. Tune in next week for a weather preview and update.
That's Bobby Robert John Beach Patterson, the third.
AKA
Toolbag.
He lives